Yo, what's good, YouTube family? Today we're going to be talking about myths that that sort of surrounding trading with fundamentals, trading with news. A lot of forex traders are purely technical traders, which is fine. It works, but I think having a fundamental sort of background or a fundamental idea in the back of your head while trading might help you hold on to certain trades longer, might help you avoid certain trades, especially if you're trading longer term. If you're trading on a really small, 15-minute, maybe hourly time frame, you might not need to care about it. But if you're a swing trader, especially, you need to know which way currencies are headed for the medium term. And I just think overall, having a good fundamental background, good understanding of how things move, why things move, is not a bad idea for a lot of traders. So I just want to cover today the different myths, the different things that are floating around that I've heard surrounding fundamentals that aren't necessarily true. But before we get into that, I will be posting more frequently on YouTube. I have been, slacking a little bit, but I will be posting another video probably this weekend, if not the start of next week, and then I'll be posting at least probably like 2 videos a week. I'm going to try to, but we'll see what happens. If you guys aren't already, please subscribe because you don't want to miss when I do drop a video. And if you gain any value from this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up because that helps the YouTube algorithm. And if you don't already, follow me on Instagram because I do post a lot of trading related things on there. Also some of my personal life a little bit if you want to get to know me better. So do check that out as well. All right, so let's jump right into it. Myth number one of trading with news is that it takes a long time to do. It takes a lot of time out of the day, and you constantly have to be glued to the screen. People are saying all the time, I hear it, I see it on social media, they're like,
I don't have time to be glued to my screen all day long.
that's great. I am actually not at my desk all day. I read maybe 30 minutes a day of news. Granted, it does help to check frequently, every hour or two. It takes 5-10 minutes to check. It doesn't take all day long, guys. Now, at the start, when you're learning, it might take a little bit longer to, to read a little more, get a better understanding of things. Maybe you have to look some things up on Google. Whatever it is, it might take a little longer at the start because you have to learn. But I have over probably over a year of experience with fundamentals, trading, like 3 years. But now, like I said, 30 minutes a day, maybe. It really doesn't take a long time. On top of that, you don't have to be glued to your screen. Literally, I get some news updates on my phone. So when I'm out doing whatever, I get updates, I look at it. It's not a big deal, actually. Even if you're a purely technical trader, it takes 30 minutes a day. You can add it and you'll be way more informed about where things are headed and just make better trading decisions. So yeah, even if, you're a purely technical trader, I do think incorporating fundamentals in whatever strategy you have is not a bad idea. Doing a little of both, being a hybrid of fundamental and technical, I think is the best combination. But, you'll probably figure it out eventually. All right, common myth number 2 is that trading with fundamentals is complicated and you need to study economics and you need to do a lot of research. This is not the case at all. I literally only look at one website for my fundamentals. I check one website. I don't have to go scourging the internet, going to libraries. I don't even know what you guys think it entails. But like I said, it's not complicated. It doesn't take time. I go to one website, check if there's updates. That's it. As far as trading fundamentals being complicated or hard, it's not. The concepts are pretty easy to grasp. What's good and what's bad for a currency is usually pretty obvious. Yeah, I could The basics could be explained in a day, but learning the nuances will take a little longer, but it's not complicated. I mean, I guess to anyone starting anything, it always seems complicated, but it's not. It's not complicated. Um, some things sound complicated: interest rates, central banks, quantitative easing, risk sentiment. These things sound complicated. They're not. They're not. Nothing about fundamentals, news is really complicated. It just takes time to learn. Just like when a lot of new traders starting out with trading, it was complicated, right? Trading is sort of a complicated thing. What's an ask? What's a bid? What's a broker? What's a spread? What's a pip? What is Fibonacci? All these things are pretty complicated when you're first learning them. Everything is. Playing the guitar is. I mean, when you were a little baby, walking was really complicated, but look at you now. So don't not do something that might help you because it seems hard or complicated. That's what makes you grow as a person and as a trader. So I highly advise you, if you think it's complicated, reconsider and consider learning, because I do think it's really beneficial. Now, the third myth is a big one, and I've heard it a lot. And that is that trading news is trading data releases like CPI and unemployment and GDP. That's all news releases. That's all data, if you want to call it. That's all data, which is a part of it, but it's a very small part of it. People think, oh, I don't trade the news. It could go either way. It spikes up or down. I avoid the news. Oh my God. I cannot tell you guys how many times I've heard, I avoid the news. I don't trade NFP. You're trading the news all the time. News is the only thing that really moves the market. Now, sometimes when there's no news, the market kind of does whatever it wants. So that's not 100% true. But for the most part, big moves are because of fundamentals or because of news. And that doesn't mean data. Those are two different things. Trading fundamentals, honestly, I almost never look at data. It doesn't mean you're trading those really volatile spikes when data comes out. That's not what it means at all. And that's a huge misconception. Basically, fundamentals means you're analyzing geopolitical events, things, monetary policy and fiscal policy for countries, things that can affect it might be like a coronavirus vaccine would affect the Forex markets and all financial markets. If one came out and was released, there would be some really big moves in Forex. That has nothing to do with a new, CPI or unemployment or GDP data release, right? That's a very real world thing. There's a vaccine for the virus, and that would move the market. The coronavirus moved the market. Trump saying something might move the market. If North Korea fires a rocket, that might move the market. If, I don't know, what's some other examples? Boris Johnson, head of the UK, Prime Minister, he got sick with COVID. That moved the market. So very real world things are what really you're trading. Fundamentals, news, like actual news. It doesn't mean, the CPI for Australia was this number. That's not what it is. That's not what it's about. Like I said, I almost never look at that stuff. Yeah, so really that's a huge misconception. And I can't tell you how many times I heard it.
I avoid trading the news. Yeah, I just stay out on NFP day.
The Forex community is one of the most ignorant trading communities out there. In stocks, at least I feel like people have just a more realistic mindset when it comes to trading stocks. When it comes to Forex, I guess just because it's so easily accessible and there's so much negative promotion, negative information out there, people really think that trading something really simple like RSI. I mean, some people really think, trading an RSI system is all that there is to trading. I mean, they're pretty ignorant people, a lot of them, and that's just I don't know. There's this really bad culture in Forex where everyone thinks it's a get rich quick scheme. It's a career. It's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to quit your job in 1 month or 2 months or probably a year or probably 2 years. It might take a couple if you really try hard, and that's what a lot of people don't grasp, and that's why they're not focused on continuing their education, and that's why they're pretty ignorant. I think they hear one thing, they see one strategy, it might be super simple that maybe doesn't even work because they don't back test it, and they try that for a couple months and they don't know why they're failing. Um, there's just no common sense, and so yeah. Anyways, when I hear someone say that, I just avoid NFP day. I don't trade the news. That's not what the news is. All right, guys. Myth number 4 is I swear I already touched on it a little bit. Basically, myth number 4 is the idea that trading with fundamentals is a very short-term thing. Like, you sort of goes along with the first point I made about being stuck at your screen. They think it's short-term and you only have like seconds or minutes to react to something coming out. That's not really it. Now, you can trade like that and catch smaller moves, but like I said, if you're a swing trader or even a day trader, um, honestly, usually an idea forms over time, over maybe a couple days or maybe even a couple weeks. An idea forms, and you gather lots of pieces of data and you see sentiment changing, and it's usually, honestly, it's a very it's slow. It's a slow process, and I wouldn't say it's fast at all. Never do I really feel rushed to get in a position. Like it's short. It's because I'm trading, again, swing trading, and news, like really short term news that moves it very short term. Um, I'm not trying to catch a really short term spike. It's more longer term. Like, I think in the next month this will be headed this way. These are the reasons I think it. These are the news that I read that supports that. This is the price action that supports that. I'm going to find a good entry and get in. It's like that. It's not really short term. It's not like, oh, buy, 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 hectic. It's nothing like that. Like I said, you can trade like that, going for shorter targets when certain pieces of news comes out. But that's just a whole different story. But yeah, it doesn't need to be hectic or anything like that, and it's not for the most part. So yeah, that's just not true. All right, guys. So the last myth, number 5, is that this one's a little less common, but it's that you have to pay for good research and good analysis and news and stuff like that. You don't need to pay. It's all free on the internet. I've never had to pay for anything. I've never had to pay for any research or analysis or anything like that. It's all free online, all free to find. Many websites have, what you need. So yeah, you don't need to pay. You especially don't need a Bloomberg terminal that costs like 10 or 20 grand or something like that. It's all free. You don't need to pay to do fundamental analysis for the most part. So yeah, anyways, those are the 5 common myths I've heard that just simply aren't true. It takes me very little time. It's not complicated. I don't have to be glued to my screen, and I don't have, it's free. I don't need to react really fast usually to information. Now, there's very few cases where that is true, but almost never is that the case. So yeah, those are really common myths that I hear. I hope that this persuades some of you guys to really reconsider, if you've thought about it or if you haven't at all. Consider learning about fundamentals, learning about the news, how it affects the currency market. Because honestly, it's been a game changer for me. Overall, my understanding of the markets and Forex and everything is just so much greater because I'm constantly learning, constantly committed to learning. And yeah, so with that being said, guys, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. I believe it's down there. And see you guys in the next video.